Okay, PreCalc, awesome people. This is Monday's lesson, day 7, parallel and perpendicular lines. Okay, again, you know about these things, so I'm just going to make it kind of quick. And for both of these, it's all about the slope. That's the most important thing. It's about the slope. So when we do parallel lines, what do we notice about the slope? And I'm sorry all the boxes don't show up. I don't understand that, but whatever. What do you notice about the slope? And you say, oh, they have the same slope. So that's important. And then can we find the equations of the lines? Let me see if I can pull up these PDFs so I can see them a little bit better. Not yet. Okay, so this is the blue line. This is supposed to be 1, and this is supposed to be 4. So the slope for the blue line would be, and this is supposed to be a 1 right here. This slope for the blue line is supposed to be up 3 and over 1, or it's supposed to be a slope of, well, that's just messy. Let me rewrite that, sorry. So the blue line, the slope is 3 over 1, because from 1 up to 4 is 3, and then I go over 1, or the slope is 3. For the red line, let me change to red. For the red line, it looks like it crosses down here. This is -2 where it crosses. And then this right here is 2. So this is the point 2, 4. And this is the point 0, -2. So if I count the boxes, that means for the red line, if I'm counting the boxes, I'm going up 6 and over 2, or it has a slope of 3. Notice it has the same slope. So it's the important thing to remember with parallel lines is they have the same slope. Okay, which is not new. You knew that already. Or it was obvious, I didn't have to tell you, but sometimes it's nice to be told. Okay, so now I've got perpendicular lines. Okay, I'm telling you these two lines are perpendicular, and you can tell me, interesting, which gray line showed up. You can tell me what the slope of each line is. So since I still have red, let's do the red line first. The slope. So it looks like it crosses here. That looks like it's -2. Let me just double check on the computer, which you can't see. Yep, crosses at -2. And then this point right here is 1, 1. So I would go up 1, 2, 3 and over 1. So this slope is 3, 1. Notice it's the same slope as the other one because I didn't change it. So now the blue line, first of all, I know it's a negative slope because of the way it's sloping. So this point right here looks like it is 0, 1. And this point here looks like it is 3, 0. So that means I went down 1 and to the right 3. So down 1 to the right 3. So that slope is -1/3. So the red slope was 3 over 1, and the blue slope is -1/3. And you're like, oh yeah. You have to flip them and make it negative. So that's why I always call that negative reciprocal slopes. Okay, they're just negative reciprocal slopes. All right, so if I have the line has a slope of 2, what's a parallel line gonna be? And you say, oh, 2. It's not rocket science, Mrs. Struckman. And what's a perpendicular line gonna be? And that is, remember, negative reciprocal. So I have to flip it over. So I have to make this slope 1 over 2, and I have to make it negative because it's got to be flipped over. If the slope is, let's say, -3/4, then the parallel slope is -3/4, And the perpendicular slope, I have to flip it, so now it's 4/3, and I make it the opposite. And the opposite of negative is positive, so I'm just going to leave it that way. And then, I don't know, if the slope is 1/4, the parallel slope is the same, because the parallel slopes are the same. And the perpendicular slope, flip it, so it's 4/1, and make it negative. So -4/1, or just -4. All right, so then a game I like to play is parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So when you look at the notes, you look at these two, you got a pair of lines, and you ask yourself, are these lines parallel, perpendicular, or just neither? They just run into each other. So let's look at this first one, and it's all about the slope, remember, so don't worry about anything but the slope. So this first equation here, if I look at this slope is, right, -3. And this slope is -1/3. So does that make them parallel, perpendicular, or neither? Right, neither, because you flipped them, but they're both negative, and in perpendicular lines, one is positive, one is negative, so this is neither. Okay, let's do B. The slope of the first one is, right, 3/2. Now be careful with this one. Where's the slope? Right, I mixed it up, didn't I? Instead of calling it mx plus b, I said b plus mx. So this is really 1.5x plus 8. And so my slope here is 1.5. How do I do a 1.5 slope? Well, you just make that into a fraction, right? An improper fraction. 1.5 or 3/2. So now you can look at them and go, oh, they're the same, so that makes them parallel. It's a fun game, isn't it? I knew you'd like it. Okay, now look at these. These are in standard notation. So before I decide anything, do not do anything until you solve each one for y, please. So I have 2x minus 5y equals -3. So I'm going to subtract 2x so I can get y by itself. So -5y equals -2x minus 3. Divide everybody by -5 or -5, whatever. And so I get y equals, a negative divided by a negative is a positive 2/5 x. A negative divided by a negative is a positive 3/5. But we don't really care about that. We only care about the slope. So this slope is 2/5. Now I do the other one. I'll change colors because I can. 2x plus 5y equals 4. So 2x plus 5y equals 4. Again, I want to solve for y by subtracting 2x. So I get 5y equals minus 2x plus 4. Divide by 5. So y equals -2/5 x plus 4/5. So this slope is -2/5. Is that the same, parallel, or neither? Sorry, is that parallel, perpendicular, or neither? Oh, it's been a long day. You say neither because they're opposites, but they're not reciprocals. So they're neither. Okay, last one in the examples. I'll put it back to a different color because I can. All right, this is already solved for y. This one is backwards a little bit, so maybe I would write this as -x plus 7, and this one is just like 1, oh, so this is like -1, this is positive 1x plus 3. So this slope is -1, this slope is 1. So is that parallel, perpendicular, or neither? And you say, oh, yeah. This is going to be like -1/1, and this is positive 1/1. Did I flip them? Yes, you can't tell that I flipped them, but I flipped them, and I made it negative. So these are perpendicular. All right, there you go, in a nutshell. So good luck, have fun.